Welcome back, everyone. You are about to listen to part 2 of the lost Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370 conspiracy. And this also happens to be our season finale as well. We want to thank you so much to everyone who has listened consistently for this first season. We will most definitely be back for a second season because we have so many other topics we're going to cover. And maybe a few guests here and there, and who knows, maybe one episode Haley will tell me about a conspiracy. Anyway, enjoy part 2. We have loved this first season.
Oh my god, this isn't a conspiracy theory, but it's dumb and relevant. You know, I just found out about it because Gareth from the Dollop posted about it, how people are boycotting Bud Light.
Yep. They're boycotting Bud Light, Nike again.
Oh my god.
Anything that has a rainbow on it.
Well, because I was gonna see who owns Bud Light, because obviously they don't whoever. I don't know what the parent company is, but they own so many other things. There's no way to
Yeah. Yeah. It's such bullshit. I saw a TikTok of just a guy. He was in a Target and he was in this little stand where they had toddler boy shirts, and he's going through them and asking why they have rainbows on them. He was just calling them not masculine, there's no masculine option. I'm like, it's a fucking toddler.
I know. Dude, they own, well, it's crazy because they own so many. I didn't realize Boston Beer Company is Sam Adams, Dogfish Head. There's so many things under them.
Oh, Dogfish? I didn't know that.
I think that was slightly recently, but literally Anheuser-Busch owns Budweiser, Bud Light, Kona, Mick Ultra, Stella, Estrella, Busch, Natty Light, Landshark, Presidente, Hoegaarden, Shock Top, and then Craft Partners, Appalachian, Blue Point, Breckenridge, Cisco, which I didn't know, Elysian, Four Peaks, Golden Road, Goose Island, Carbosh, Omission, Platform, Red Hook, Square Mile.
Oh my god.
Virtue, Wicked Weed. There's fucking 20 different. Oh my god. They also, I don't know what Babe is. Cutwater, Highball Energy, Neutral Vodka Soda, Rita's. That's
oh my god, the Ritas. They own the Ritas.
No one who's boycotting Bud Light knows they own this many things. Is my point.
They can't drink anymore if they truly boycotted Bud Light. Is it Dylan Mulvaney?
Yeah.
I know she's been repping a lot of things, and then as soon as she does, all of the assholes are add this one to the list.
I'm drinking, I don't know what that would be. Is it a tequila sunrise that's grenadine and orange juice?
Yeah, and tequila.
I'm a Godzilla glass.
You need that drip.
Yeah. Hello.
So we are, as we remember, discussing the Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 that disappeared on March 8th, 2014. I did not think about what it would be like to quickly summarize this.
Yeah.
It was a routine flight. I remember that.
Oh yeah.
They were supposed to land in Beijing at 6:30 in the morning. They left at 12:41 in the morning and from Malaysia, and they were over the South China Sea, and they were switching over to Vietnamese air traffic. And when they did that, they completely disappeared from the radar, the map, the grid, all of that.
The plane exited this plane.
The spiritual plane.
Yeah.
Right. I'm like, where did it go next? So a lot of theories popped off immediately. There were some people employees who worked for an oil rig on the South China Sea that say they saw the plane explode in the sky.
I remember debris being
moved. But they never found debris in the place that it should have exploded. And then there was radar data from this machine called an Inmarsat that, hold on, I got it. It detects that it flew off course or could have flown off.
This dog's trying to make out with me.
I can't even see you anymore.
I
Oh
know,
my God. Holy shit. Okay, so in Marsat, am I even saying that correctly?
I don't know. Actually, I feel like he needs to go out one more time before we start.
Okay,
So
okay.
hold on. Figure out what you want to say. And then I'll come back.
BTW, I was saying it correctly.
That sounds familiar.
Okay, so in Marsat, it's a satellite technology. It communicates with aircrafts to determine they are still in the air when they are beyond the range of radar systems. So it determines, or so they say, so the Malaysian government says, it determines that the MH370, its satellite communicated with the system for 6 hours after disappearance. Therefore, it flew off course, and so they were trying to figure out if it flew off course north or flew off course south. And due to mathematics of the satellites and a lot of very confusing scientific mumbo jumbo, they come to the conclusion that it flew south, and just like confirm that that definitely happened, which would have meant that it would have flown south and probably crashed somewhere in the Indian Ocean, which is very secluded. But they confirm this without actually knowing that, because still no debris has been found. And
Right.
so there have been a few theories that have been thrown around. And the first one that the media took hold of was that the Captain Zahari, intended to commit a mass murder suicide. And they try to smear him in the press, and this angers his family, obviously, and everyone who knew him, because he was, for all we know, he was a great guy. Then there was also a hijacking theory that undercover government forces of whichever, they obviously choose Russia, but whichever, like whatever operatives from whoever's version of the CIA, they hijacked the plane. That's the other theory. Jeff Wise, the journalist who is in most of this documentary series, is very anti-Russian, let me tell you that.
God.
Or doesn't like Russia at all. So yeah, so that's what we left off. A piece of debris was found in this French territory called La Réunion, and it's on the Indian Ocean.
Gotcha.
So this piece that they believe to be debris was found. So here we are in episode 3. It's called the intercept theory.
Gotcha.
And I think the Malaysian government, not that they didn't, I know who found the piece of debris, but I think they are the ones who like relayed it in the news that a piece of debris was found.
Yes.
And as such, none of the family members of the passengers or crew seem to believe that the plane actually crashed in the Indian Ocean.
They're like, oh, you found one tiny little piece and that's it?
Yeah,
Fuck
they're like,
you.
fuck that.
Fuck you, fuck that.
They don't believe that this debris that has been found is either real nor from MH370. And one of the family members said, the first time I saw that in the news, my honest feeling was, who planted it there? Who put that there? I was like,
they're saying debris and doing like heavy eye roll. Debris, quote unquote.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, fucking right. They're like, you're just trying to appease us with some debris, but I'm not having it.
I am not, like, don't even come near me with that shit, okay?
Yeah. Keep that debris away from me.
So the Malaysian Prime Minister did indeed confirm that the debris was from MH370, but it's not really something that they can confirm, because there's no ID numbers on this piece of debris. Like, it could be from the plane,
it could be like a piece of metal. Like, who knows?
So this is when we are introduced to Blaine Gibson.
He's coming in hot.
So he says he knew the first piece of debris would show up while someone was just walking along the Indian Ocean, and that's where the debris was found.
SBU rules.
Yeah.
I was just minding my own business, and I saw some debris came up to me in the ocean. I don't know why they have that accent.
He does sound kind of like that, so
Like, I don't know how you knew, but great job.
you just like nailed his vibe. He loves adventure and travel, and he always wanted to visit every country in the world. Try North Korea.
Yeah, there's some you can't go to, I heard.
Can you do that, Blaine?
Like, I gotta get my passport so stamped up you can't even see the pages. That's what
I'm
Blaine's
gonna have
about.
2 passports, one just for stamps.
The pages are all stuck together because of the ink from the stamps. Get all over. I'm Blaine. Blaine on a plane.
Including Antarctica. Did you know they also stamp your passport?
That's what I was gonna ask. I was like, yeah, I didn't know. I'm like, what does their thing look like?
I just made that up. I have no idea.
I was like, this is very ignorant, but I'm like, does Antarctica have countries? I feel like it doesn't.
No,
I feel like that's the only one that's just a continent.
Yeah.
Although I guess isn't Australia, but there's New Zealand in Australia. Isn't one? I don't know.
Australia is a continent and a country.
That's what it is. Okay. I was like, I was like, isn't that one the only one that's also both?
Australia doubles as a continent and a country. She's a double threat, that one. So he loves adventure and travel. Any unsolved mystery in the world, he wants to be the guy to solve it. So he decides he's gonna solve this one. Move over, Benoit Blanc.
I like Blaine. Blaine Blanc.
And I was like, oh my God, do John Benet Ramsey next.
Yeah.
So he literally says, I wanted to find the plane wherever it was. And I was like, don't we all, Blaine? How do we do it?
He's just got a metal detector on. He's just rolling. He's like, beep, 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 beep.
So he was living it up in a Facebook group that discussed MH370, which I think is wild that like Facebook groups of people who are not Malaysian at all or relatives of anyone who was on board. Like,
yeah, there's zero connection to the story. They're just like, what's going on?
Yeah, who create these Facebook groups and continue to update them for years and years and years. So he is mayor of this Facebook group, and he wanted to find more debris. Okay,
yeah, he's on the hunt for debris.
So he says he goes to, quote, oceanographers. I don't know how one finds an oceanographer. Like
the yellow pages, dummy. He's looking right up. They're under the O's. He's obsessed with paper media. He's like, I want my passport. I want my stamps. I got my yellow pages.
Let me look me up an oceanographer.
Just like me, because I'm projecting my thing onto him.
Very Feinstein oceanographer.
Lawson and Lawson, oceanographer. You're like, these are lawyers.
They're just trying to pull one over on me.
Yeah. These are maritime lawyers.
So at the advice of these oceanographers, because he found them somehow, Blaine sets his sights on the Mozambique Channel on the coast of Mozambique. He goes to a place called Vilanculos, and the locals tell him about a sandbank where there might be debris because apparently it's notorious there to find plane pieces
right
in this sandbank. So he finds a gray triangle that says no step on it, and he says that's when he knew he had another piece of the plane.
Oh shit, he's doing a puzzle.
How was that when you knew? Because it does look like metal plane debris, but Jesus, MH370 is not the only plane that's ever gone down.
Or like could be a boat. Like it could be any other like vessel that's made out of metal.
It could even be just like, you know, like a plane that was dismantled and, you know, not thrown away properly. Right. Doesn't have to be that dramatic all the time.
He's like, no, that's the one. That's my white whale.
The people who live on this island, they tell him to go to Madagascar next for more debris.
Gotcha. Wow.
And guess what? He finds more wreckage.
Dude, just in time for Easter, someone set up a little Easter egg hunt. Blaine something. I can't remember his last name.
Gibson.
Blaine
Blaine the Plane Gibson.
Yeah. Blaine Plane Hunter Gibson.
So he finds more wreckage, and he has quote unquote experts confirming to him that it is from the plane. Still, please show me the Carfax.
Yeah.
How do we know that it's not just a random piece of plane
Yeah, they have
debris?
DNA, right? Like, I don't think they can get that specific. I don't know.
So he is now responsible for most of the parts, quote unquote, that have been found. And the media calls him a modern day Indiana Jones.
Oh my God. He's
And I was like,
living.
yeah, no, he's like, I am actually.
He's
Yes.
like, give me that hat. Give me that.
You got it. You got it absolutely correct.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah, as if you've survived incredible booby traps to get all this shit.
How many times have you saved your hat?
Yeah.
Doors or boulders or snakes.
Exactly. Did you have to solve a puzzle before you actually got the thing you were looking for?
Yeah. Did you have to carefully put something else on the pressure plate to steal the debris out of the ocean so a booby trap didn't get you?
I don't think so.
So
We're not here to disrespect Harrison Ford. This is a pro Harrison Ford household.
I've been like wanting to rewatch Indiana Jones recently, and now I think I will. This is the sign I need to take the first step to rewatching.
That is a good one. And I don't know what it is about like a weekend movie, but that's one of them for me.
Oh yeah. Well, I think too, like Grace Outside, like because Brett loved just like classic old like horror movies and Indiana Jones and Jaws. We'd always watch them in the summertime, like on the big like sheet outside their house, and I was like, ooh, that's what I want.
That's
bringing it back.
So Jeff says, Jeff Wise, we remember him, correct? He's the journalist.
I remember the name. What was our stance on him? Like, what's his?
He's the journalist that tells the crazy theories.
Okay.
But he says that the question he has to ask is if these pieces of plane debris Blaine is finding have actually been planted by the Russians to go along with the plot he lined out at the end of the second episode, because apparently it would not be the first time that they have planted debris to mislead investigators.
He's like, but how does this tie in with my thing?
He's like, listen, it's not the first time it's happened, and it will not be the last. Are you just telling me that Russians are just absolute villain masterminds? And that's just how
they don't have lives. They're only out to get anyone
at any given time.
Yeah. Through deceit and trickery and planting debris.
So he mentions this very specific incident in 1983 where the Soviet Union had shot down a Korean airliner over Japanese waters, and then the Soviets apparently planted false acoustic pingers to mislead investigate. I don't even actually remember what that means, but that was the only example that he had of them doing this many times before, quote unquote, unquote.
He's like, it's kind of their thing.
It's happened once. So Jeff starts digging on Blaine to try to see if he has any ties to Russia. He's got Russia on the brain, okay? What? So apparently Blaine once set up a company with 2 central Russian partners in the early 90s and was president of said company when the Soviet Union collapsed.
Damn, okay.
But like, that's
more of a connection than I expected. Like, I expected nothing, so I was like, oh, okay.
But that could also be nothing.
Yeah, that's true. I was just impressed that there was like any straws to grasp at.
You know, and he speaks Russian fluently.
How many fucking Russian stamps does he have in his passport, though?
But that's the thing. He said he wanted to visit every country. It wouldn't be weird if he learned Russian.
Wow, good of him. What a good backstory to have, just in case.
I don't know, Jeff. Come on,
Jeff.
Of course, he denies being a Russian spy. He says that Jeff Wise knows that would be very serious defamation. Holy shit. Are you going to sue him? Are you going to kill him? Are you Russian?
Are you Russian?
Are you a sleeper cell? Am I wrong? Remember one of the family members, he was French. His name is Elaine.
Yes.
Yes. He doesn't believe Blaine either, but he doesn't believe anyone.
Right. He's doing his own thing. He's on his own arc.
And neither does Florence, the French reporter who is like kind of working with Elaine.
Gotcha.
So I just think that the things are unrelated. I think that Blaine thinks he's finding plane debris. I think he's just finding random shit. And fucking Jeff thinks he's a Russian operative. I do not buy that part of it.
Yeah, you're like, that's too far in the other direction.
But I am with Elaine and Florence that I don't buy what he's doing either.
Right.
So Florence says because the Australian report says that it is highly likely that the debris is part of MH370. That means they cannot definitively say that it was from MH370. So that's what I'm saying too. I'm like, how the fuck do you know? You're
right.
not.
You're like, it could be, but that's it.
Right. So she finds that the flaperon, which is, I guess, whatever part of the wing this is, it's called a flaperon. I don't know what the fuck that is.
But the part that goes up to like
I'm assuming it flaps. I'm assuming, yeah.
A little flap that goes slow down.
Little flap motion, little flap action. I don't know. She finds that the flaperon that was first found, so like the very first piece of debris that was found, that they were like, we found a piece of debris, even though
like we say closure, right, guys? And they're like,
right,
no.
am I right? Am I right? So she finds that it's missing its ID plate, which is something made to withstand the elements for emergency identification purposes. And the only time it is ever taken off is when a plane is dismantled. So because it's missing, she's like, there wouldn't have been, if supposing that the plane did, go down in the Indian Ocean and like the debris is now floating around, there wouldn't be any way for the ID plate to ever been taken off.
Wow, that's
because
it's a crash.
Well, yeah, because it's like, so the plate itself is made to withstand extreme elements. The point,
is to be able to like identify it if it does go down, probably.
Right. And so they're like, I'm assuming it's like screwed into there, so there's no way to undo that, basically, without it being dismantled by a person. So she believes that they should have thought that this piece obviously comes from a dismantled plane, and also finds out that the serial numbers from the debris found, they don't match. Which that was what my question was. I was like,
they don't match. What is it, MH70?
Yeah. So they like, there's a record of what the serial numbers are for MH370.
Oh, and it's not that.
And it's not that. So because that was my first question. I was like, are there numbers? Is there an identity? Like how?
Yeah, there has to be some system how to do that.
Then reports suddenly come out about Captain Zahari's at-home flight simulator. Remember that thing?
Yes.
And according to the FBI, he did simulate this flight before he actually flew it.
Oh, shit. Okay. Did he do that with all his flights, though? Like how Blaine wants to visit every country?
Maybe. But so the flight pattern from this particular one had him ending in the Indian Ocean. So like
shit.
The bad one.
Yeah, not Malaysia's sweetheart any longer.
Not where it was supposed to go,
Yeah. Uh-oh.
So Elaine still finds this fishy because he's like, they've known about this for 2 years and have not released it until now. Like, why?
Wait, how much time has gone by again?
It's 2016 because they disappeared in 2014, so it's 2 years later.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I feel like that came up I feel like they found out about, or he was like a suspect early on.
Yeah. And so the simulated route does end up in the Indian Ocean where the fuel would have run out. And this is very similar to the actual route from Inmarsat. But Jeff believes this might be a coincidence and people can see what they want to see, because technically the simulated route ends up hundreds of miles away from where it actually would have gone down.
Gotcha. Okay.
He thinks that whatever Zahari was doing at home, he doesn't think it was intentional. Like he thinks he got to one spot and then just kind of like, I'm trying to articulate how, like if you lay down on your keyboard and then a bunch of typos happen.
Yeah.
It was like an accident.
Right.
And it's like, okay, but on the piece of paper that is the map, the lines are very close to each other. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I feel like,
I was
and
like,
that's where the maybe debris is. That's not kind of damning.
yeah. I was like, I am sorry. I wanted to believe Zahari too. I fell in love too.
Yeah, me
Okay.
too.
But
Egg on my face.
so some media sources use this as their smoking gun. No one can wait for anything, like
They're like, it's him. We're sure of it. Get back in a week for sure. Something else, maybe. I don't know.
So Elaine once again thinks this is too simple. And I kind of agree, but I don't know. I truly don't know. I don't know. I don't want it to be Zahari. He thinks it's suspicious that the Americans have been leading this investigation from the beginning, and 2 years later released this very important piece of evidence that would promote their theory that Zahari committed murder-suicide.
That is suspicious. That I do agree with.
Yeah. He does not understand why this information is coming from the FBI when they have never said anything about this in response to the official inquiry from Malaysia, and no reports were given. So why now? Britain found the plane via the satellite technology. Australians are leading the search.
Wait, what's Malaysia doing?
Nothing. He believes that Malaysia was like the stooge in this case.
Gotcha.
And like I've been calling them a patsy. So yeah, Elaine and I are on the same spiritual plane. It's true. My one remaining question for Elaine and company, however, is how do you think the Americans are involved? Like, what do you think we did? What do you think actually happened to the plane if it didn't crash in the Southern Indian Ocean? I ask this seriously, not rhetorically.
Dave and I watched Nope for the first time the other day.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, did America feed the plane to aliens to appease the aliens? And they're like, sorry, Malaysia, you gotta take one for the team.
That was my next bullet point. I was like, basically, I'm wondering if they're supernatural believing girlies like myself.
Yeah. They're like, please take this Malaysian plane. Don't take one of our fine American planes because we're
just
like
this
that.
one.
Yeah.
So MH370 flew over 6 countries airspace: Vietnam, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, and Australia. And not one of these countries have been able to produce radar images of MH370. Only the Western girlies.
Mm-hmm.
Malaysia said they did see the U-turn, but they wouldn't have because Britons are the ones who had the Inmarsat technology. So it's like, you don't like stop just saying shit, okay? So Florence shares that on MH370's supposed path, they would have flown over an Australian military base called Butterworth. So how in the heck did that not trigger all the airbase's systems and be like, we got a rogue jet overhead?
Right.
There were also 2 major military exercises happening during this time conducted by the US. So like, what gives? I wrote, oh my God, what if a US jet shot it down accidentally and we're just like doing the mother of cover-ups because of our own stupidity?
That's a good one too.
Like, how did we lose a plane in an incredibly monitored area?
Yeah, I don't know.
Riddle me that one. So then they look into who is Inmarsat. They have a branch called Inmarsat Government that provides services to militaries of some big guys like America.
Right.
The big guy. Florence thinks it's possible that the Inmarsat data was engineered to cover up what actually happened, and thinks whatever happened would have happened immediately in the South China Sea. Gotcha. So now Cindy Hendry is back, and you may remember her from being the woman who looked really, really closely at photos of the ocean after the plane went missing and claimed she saw all this debris.
What?
Do you remember that?
He looked really hard at like a photo from the ocean. Like,
so,
how far up was the photo?
It was remember the website was called Tom Nod, and it was like, yeah, it was like these aerial images that they encourage just like regular people to just look at and zoom in really close. Yeah. She all but started a letter writing campaign for crying out loud, trying to get her word out on the images of debris she saw. It was all over her goddamn Facebook.
Cindy, who has this kind of time? Like, for real, who has
needs everyone to know? She talks to Florence, gives her what she's got, wants to talk to the oil rig workers who claim to have seen the plane on fire in the air, and the Cathay pilots as well. And it's just like, Cindy, do you think you have all of that clearance? What do you mean you want to talk to them?
So he's like, I am the source. I am the source.
So Florence is interested about the cargo on the flight because she's like, what if it was transporting something risky and like that's, what?
Yeah, I could. That's sort of more of a motive than anything. So
Yeah.
far.
So she starts looking at the cargo on the flight because I guess these are public record or something she can get her hands on. She had all of it.
Here, Florence is doing it.
Yeah. So there's 2 tons of electronics.
Wait, no. Who's looking, Cindy or Florence?
Oh, I'm sorry. I literally thought you said no one is doing it like Florence is doing it. And I was like, yeah, you're right.
You're like, haha, yeah. And I was like, that didn't answer my question.
It's Florence.
Okay, that makes more sense than Cindy just being able to.
Yes. Yes. So she finds that there were 2 tons of electronics listed as walkie-talkies, lithium-ion batteries, accessories, and chargers. These are all little things. Because like lithium-ion batteries, I think those are in your phone. And then there's cargo transported onto the plane under close escort and without having been scanned. She thinks it's possible that the US knew this cargo was problematic and did everything possible to stop it arriving, which of course in this case means blowing it out of the damn sky and causing 239 civilian casualties that they won't take responsibility for. Hooray!
Hooray!
So do you remember the AWACS planes that I was talking about last time?
No.
Okay, that's okay. There was a lot of information. So an AWACS plane, I forget what the acronym stands for, but it's an American plane that it basically just like monitors whatever area it's in, and we have a bunch of them all over the world because we can't stay in our own business.
Keep our hands off each
other. She says that the AWACS planes apparently also have the capability to jam aircraft communication systems, which would be a mighty good explanation for how it dropped off of everything completely.
Right.
So here is the intercept theory, and it's not a Crazy Jeff story. Yay!
Oh shit.
So this was Florence. She says this cargo that was not scanned yet walks right onto that jet, honey. Plane takes off, eventually reaches cruising altitude. Changing of airspaces. Good night, ladies and gentlemen, out here in lawless no man's land. It's possible the AWACS jammed the MH370, making it disappear.
Ooh, I like this one so far. I mean, I feel like this makes the most sense.
Yes, possibly receives an order to land from the AWACS, and it's possible that Zahari says no because, like, what's going on? He's got peeps to transport to Beijing. He's a decorated, beloved pilot. Or we were like, find bitches and shoot a bi-sister missile at it, meeting its fate in the South China Sea. So Florence says she knows it sounds far-fetched, but TBH, this is the most logical theory I've heard. Leave it to women, am I right?
Yeah, she's like, oh, fucking everyone listen to me. I'll finally figure it out.
Like, how did I figure this out so quickly? And you blew through, Jeff over here blew through 2 theories where he supposed that everyone suffocated to death.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Jesus.
So Mike Exner, he was the pilot in the independent group, he says that both Jeff and Florence are such a distraction. He says they don't understand the facts and the data. But I have to say, Mikey, the literal only data that exists has no actual images or anyone else's radar to even confirm. So what are these cold, hard facts and data you're talking about?
What is he talking about? Just pilot things?
I think he's like an establishment Democrat and is like, I just trust the government.
Right. Yeah, he's like, we wouldn't do that though.
They wouldn't lie.
We've never lied before and we won't lie now.
So an Inmarsat rep says, I don't understand why anyone would think we would want to manipulate or change any data associated with this. I mean,
for personal gain. Hello.
exactly. I was like, I mean, both Florence and Jeff gave me a few reasons, but sure, go on.
Okay.
I mean, Jeff's were crazy, but they were still reasons.
Yeah. He still listed them for you.
And the Inmarsat rep says that's not who we are. It's not personal, it's just drag.
Yeah, what do you mean?
Blaine says no to Florence's theory. It goes against the data the overlord daddies gave us. The data.
The data daddies.
He says he thinks some people are so interested in their own agendas that they are losing objectivity, and that's sad. I was like, when were you ever objective here, sir? Tell me.
Yeah, although I guess he doesn't have an agenda per se.
Yes, he does. He wants to be. He literally said, any unsolved mystery, I want to solve it and be forever known as the guy who solved it.
Oh, you're right.
You lost all objectivity.
Yeah, he's like, it's about me. When people just make stuff about the tragedies about themselves.
Literally. Oh, that was called Conspiracy Entrepreneur. That was in the DNC staffer.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Callback. The Malaysian government officially indefinitely suspended its search in 2017. Surprise, surprise.
They're like, we fucking quit. You guys got it. Florence and Blaine got it, clearly.
They're like, we haven't been doing anything, but we just want you to know we're going to continue not doing anything.
We're going to officially stop doing anything.
We're not going to even pretend like we're doing anything.
It's on the books now. It's on the books that we're off the case.
So the next of kin are obviously disgusted, enraged, sick, etc. And I forget who actually said this, but I have a quote that said there are still 239 souls on board who need to go home. And I was like,
like, someone do anything helpful.
I know. In an official press conference, the Malaysian government confirms that their investigation concludes without knowing the cause of the disappearance of the flight. And we're like, yeah, we get it. You gave up.
We still don't know.
These men were smiling for pictures at this conference. Have some tact, idiots. Yeah. Elaine says, fuck all y'all. At least the French investigative system does not allow them to stop until they find the truth. And he said, if it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years. That is discipline, Elaine.
Yeah, get it, Elaine.
So, okay, so that ends the Netflix series.
Oh, wow.
Which, yeah, no, it ended very sad. Yeah, it ended in a very depressing spot. So, we are going to pivot now.
Like, the most resolution we get is Elaine being like, I think the US did it to cover up something else.
Yeah. So I think he probably believes Florence's theory of the non-alien theories. That's the one that I would probably go with too.
Yeah. And then we have the gall to make a documentary.
Exactly. It's just all so bad.
Yeah.
We are going to pivot here. We're gonna take a look at some of the shit that was on Twitter.
Yeah. What's going on in the backdrop of the civilians? What are the civilians talking about?
A bit of backstory to this particular Twitter thread was what got me into conspiracy theories, because I saw this Twitter thread. It was posted in 2018. This Twitter user,
so this is well after the whole thing happened too. Yeah.
Yes, it's 4 years after it went missing, and it's a year after Malaysians gave up.
Okay.
So, a Twitter user, his name is Ty. He's just an ordinary person with no apparent prior interest into any of these topics, like conspiracies in general. His Twitter would not suggest so, at least.
Right. Because people who are usually into that shit are like loud and proud.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, I believe.
On March 13th, 2018, Ty posted a recording of a creepy voicemail message he said he received on his phone and asked for help translating it. So the tweet said, I really need y'all to listen to this voicemail I just got. I'm deactivating my cell phone service.
Oh, damn.
He apparently gets a translation to the message, and whoever translated it for him said it was a military alphabet. I guess I don't know if that would be sounds or maybe it is the alphabet, because isn't there like Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, or what, you know, and it like stuff like that. In whatever country's military alphabet, he says that it translates to danger, SOS. It is dire for you to evacuate. Be cautious. They are not human. SOS, danger, SOS. 3 SOSs. So
wow,
it's fucking serious, guys.
Yeah. SO fucking S.
SO motherfucking S. And then it gave coordinates. And he goes, I'm throwing my phone away. But however,
into the Indian Ocean as we speak.
But I mean, he continues tweeting, so he does not actually throw his phone
He got
away.
a new phone, or maybe he's using his computer, but I don't think
he's like every time he tweets.
Yeah, he's like, oh god.
So then he replies to this tweet, like he like continues the thread, and it's like someone messaged him about the recording on his phone. The recording is supposed to be on a continuous loop. It's not a message set to play once. So basically what it means is that like this is a really important message because it's on a loop. It's
like, hey.
So then other users tried to work out what the number sequence was, because there was like a bunch of numbers also included in this message. And then he also got back on this thread and said that he claims to have, he never posts actual pictures of this shit, but he claims to have seen someone outside of his house taking pictures. And so now he's like really scared, apparently.
Yeah.
So then from
Where
this
is he
number
located?
sequence,
Do we know?
he's somewhere in America. I forget where. And so, yeah, so a lot of users like were trying to figure out the number sequence that he said was a part of it. And many users noted that it was very close to where the MH370 vanished from radar, leading to speculation that the voicemail was a recording from the doomed plane's encounter with an alien craft.
Wait, what do you mean? Like longitude, latitude? Like that's what
Yeah, so like the numbers like kind of correspond to the longitude and latitude. And then it ended, I remember this specifically because this is why it was like pertinent in 2018. I remember it ended with the numbers 41818. And people speculated that the 41818 meant that the aliens that supposedly kidnapped the MH370, that they were going to return on April 18th, 2018. And that was like the whole conspiracy, the whole of it, that I was like, oh my God, aliens are on the way.
And they're coming back around.
And I really, at that point in my life, I was interested. Like, I'm not gonna lie.
You got me.
We were living in Trump's America, you know, and in many ways we still are.
Yeah, like what else do I have to look forward to other than these aliens?
And I was about to graduate college. I was really nervous about even trying to start paying back my student debt. So I was like,
this is my out.
Exactly. I was like, well, if they take over, they'll just wipe out all of our stupid ass systems with their own, so it won't even matter anymore.
Yeah. I don't think alien debt converts to human student loan debt anyway.
I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't think it could be worse than it is right now in this motherfucking country.
Boy, were we wrong.
No, literally. It's like, check your privilege, idiot.
Yeah, dummy. Wait.
Yeah.
Wait some more as I'm saying this now. I'm time stamping this.
Also, how would he have gotten this message? People said, like, the people who believed this and like translated for him and all the fucking numbers and all that shit, they said that it would be from the black box of the plane, which is in an emergency. It has the last like communication, the last coordinates. If investigators find a black box, then they know there's a fucking plane we gotta find, you know. A lot of people responded and were like, so are you saying that Malaysia Flight 370 encountered something non-human?
Yeah.
And here's my thing. It could have, because there's no other reasonable explanation for me why Captain Zahari would have just flown into the Indian Ocean for no apparent reason, you know? Obviously, I'm not like I'm no one. I have no authority on this. I just tend to sometimes believe in supernatural things. Like in horror movies where there's like a demon of some kind and it possesses a character.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I don't know that being probed would necessarily, or whatever, like being kidnapped by aliens. I don't know that that would necessarily make you physically leave Earth. Is
No,
this coming off at all?
do you mean like if someone took the captain and then dropped him back off? Like,
No, I mean like how do I explain this? Like in a movie when someone's physical body is still on Earth, but they're like dealing with something like
oh yeah, yeah, like their soul is like
yeah, that's what I mean. Obviously, I have no idea how alien encounters would work, but it would make sense to me that like he would mindlessly drive a plane in one direction.
So like he's kind of on autopilot because his consciousness is dealing with the alien.
Yes, like
That's
and everyone else for that matter too, not just
Right.
him. I don't know. I don't know. The senselessness of this whole thing is what gets me about the whole. That's why I'm like, yeah, like if you can't explain it, then it's alien.
Yeah. Ipso facto aliens.
All right, let me see if I can find a Facebook group. I found one. It has 777 members.
Oh wow. Pretty good, I think. I don't know.
Yeah. It says this group is to discuss the disappearance of Malaysia Airlines Flight MH370 ?
Yes, straight to the source.
The most recent post was 6 days ago.
Oh wow. People are still, they're like, Malaysia may have quit, but we have not.
We never will. Someone named Brian Lee says MH370 is destroyed, shattered by very strong explosion. No need new search. No need any new theory and story. It is totally burned out by strong flames. How?
Please
Where
stop.
are you getting your intel, Brian?
He's like, flames. Don't you see? It was flames all along.
Those pesky flames. Someone named Eric posted on March 25th, my birthday.
Nice. Happy birthday.
Did they ever find this plane?
Watch the documentary, Eric. Not that hard.
I'm gonna be like, I don't think so, man. Someone's selling t-shirts.
Oh god. It just says co-pilot.
I know.
That's not even specific to this thing.
Then there's also a t-shirt with a fucking truck on it that says company, tagline here.
Their profile picture is just the Honda logo. And I don't know that this is a Honda truck. That's a Ram. I believe that's Dodge.
That is 100% a Ram.
They're not promoting their own Honda stuff very well.
People are on here mostly to like promote their businesses. All these fucking videos of this woman opening like Tupperware.
Oh.
And then I like scrolled to like, because these are like lives that she spent fucking 2 hours and 40 minutes on live with these people. And she like, yeah, she plays a bingo app on her phone like and calls winners.
There's so many different. Oh yeah, there's like, oh, I see the same.
They're just playing bingo on the fucking MH370 Facebook. What the fuck is wrong with these people?
And now there's like other stuff about New Hampshire. Do you see that one? It says high treason on New Hampshire. Any New Hampshire legislator not willing to support the red dress process as secured by the New Hampshire Bill of Rights and evidenced by the New Hampshire Senate and House journals is committed to violating their oath of office and should be exposed as such.
Oh my god.
This is like why I don't go on Facebook anymore.
Yeah.
Then there's this other guy who's posted a few things. It says, calling all airline staff who are free from September 1st of 2014, become a licensed tourist guide. Come join a freelance profession with lots of income potential. Call
me now, you who are interested in MH370's disappearance.
Yeah, so not a lot about the topic. Wait, then there's something talking about lizards. Wait, this is the same guy who just talked about the Nuco thing.
This is his Facebook page. He thinks he's posting to his
Yeah,
regular timeline.
there's a meme. It says 404 plane not found, and then there's a
Oh
lizard,
my god.
a Mr. Monopoly outfit with like a tux and a monocle and a pipe and a hat.
Is
And
he
it says,
assuming that the lizard people Illuminati is who took the
I
plane?
think so.
He's a lizard people believer.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. This is too much for me.
So okay, so I guess we could do this one just by like what do you think? What do you like which one of these sparked your interest?
Um, I feel like before this we just talked about my increasing cynicism, so I feel like we fucking did it and covered it for personal gain is what seems like happened.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Or I do like the alien version too, like because I feel like when we first started talking about it, that was my initial thought was like it's like a Bermuda Triangle situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like realistically the US probably did something fucked up.
Yeah, I thought from the series, the third theory about the cargo seemed to be the one that made the most sense to me
Yeah,
because
like
I don't doubt that it crashed somewhere.
yeah,
I don't think it like even if it was something non-human, I don't think that that means that it just disappeared
right.
completely. I think that the remnants of what happened are somewhere,
Yes.
obviously. I don't know. I mean, I think I more so believe the more grounded theory just because now that I've actually looked into it and I'm like I don't know why that always happens. Like I go into it being like, "Oh, this is going to be so cool." And then I'm just like, "Damn."
Yeah, like it's probably that.
This concludes the part 2 of the Malaysian Airlines Flight MH370. And as I mentioned in the beginning, also our first season. So thank you again so much for listening this first season. We can't wait to come back.